Hello. This is Antya from Byte Shuffle. Thank you for always watching my videos. This time, in the sideboard section, I have summarized the things to keep in mind and be cautious about when playing against Eldrazi. I won't be able to participate in the Big Magic Open due to work commitments, but I wish the best of luck to all the ANT players participating. Here is the deck list we will be using this time. As for the Surveil lands, I've changed from blue-black to blue-green, adding Underground Sea and removing Tropical Island. Next, for the sideboard, the first priority is to consider Reanimator, followed by Eldrazi. I reduced the number of Carpet of Flowers, which is strong against Control and Delver, by 1 and increased the number of Chrome Mox from 3 to 4. Since my hand is only lacking mana acceleration, I'll keep it. Chalice of the Void has locked out X=1. I'll go search for Boseiju, who endures. The effect of Surveil leaves the top of the library as is. I really like that Boseiju, who endures, cannot be taken away by Thought-Knot Seer's effect. I'll remove Chalice of the Void from the battlefield. I'll go search for mana acceleration. I'll stack Beseech the Mirror, then Brainstorm, and then Ponder, and draw. I'll use a hand disruption spell to scout ahead. I took out Sowing Mycospawn. I'll go look for mana acceleration. I stacked Beseech the Mirror, then Brainstorm, and then Vexing Bauble, and drew. But I think I should have shuffled here. I'll search for mana acceleration. I stacked Vexing Bauble followed by Ad Nauseam. Kozilek's command has locked down my graveyard, so I'm considering the Ad Nauseam route, but there's a glaring Fleshraker on the battlefield. Before sideboarding, I'd like to review the list we used. First, the conclusion. I will explain it step by step. These are the cards related to ANT for the Eldrazi matchup. First, there are graveyard hate cards like Kozilek's Command and Leyline of the Void. To ignore these, it's ideal to take the Ad Nauseam route after sideboarding. To maximize the use of Ad Nauseam, I'll side in Chrome Mox. This might overlap with last week's video, but for those who are not familiar, I'll explain Chrome Mox again this time. This card has two effects. It increases the speed of your combo, and it provides the benefit of stabilizing my combo. First, I'd like to discuss the effect of increasing the speed of my combo. Let's say I have Brainstorm, Infernal Tutor, Dark Ritual, Ponder, Lion's Eye Diamond, and a Swamp in my hand. I am short by 1 mana to combo off. If I have Brainstorm, if it were Chrome Mox instead, I could go all in and take the Ad Nauseam route immediately. Next, let's discuss the benefit of stabilizing my combo. Let's say I start by playing a Swamp, then cast Dark Ritual, followed by another Dark Ritual, and then cast Ad Nauseam. To win on the turn I combo off, I often need 0 mana artifacts like Lotus Petal or Chrome Mox. Therefore, when taking the Ad Nauseam route and aiming for a win, Chrome Mox greatly contributes to my success. Next, we have permanents like Leyline of the Void, Disruptor Flute, and Chalice of the Void. To counter these, I'll use Echoing Truth and Boseiju, who endures from the main board. The opponent attacks my hand with Thought-Knot Seer, while leaving behind a 4/4 body. Cards like Glaring Fleshraker and Kozilek's Command quickly pressure my life total. Additionally, with Sowing Mycospawn exiling my lands, it becomes difficult for me to maintain my colors. Therefore, I won't include Abrupt Decay, which has strict color requirements, and instead, I will rely on Boseiju, who endures, and Echoing Truth, which have fewer color constraints. Additionally, if I can't draw the cards I need after Thought-Knot Seer exiles cards from my hand. If sowing Mycospawn's land exile ability and land search ability bring in Wasteland, 2 of my lands are destroyed, causing my mana base to collapse. To prevent this, I'll side in basic lands. It's ideal to prioritize searching for basic lands and arranging them alongside fetch lands. Next, there's Mindbreak Trap. I'll counter it with Thoughtseize, Duress, and Vexing Bauble. Since Mindbreak Traps affect exiles cards from the game, it can't be countered by Veil of Summer. If the opponent has Vexing Bauble, it can be effective, but regarding Vexing Bauble, since Vexing Bauble can be dealt with by other cards, the value of Veil of Summer decreases. Therefore, I'll remove all of them. As a side note, if the opponent only uses Vexing Bauble and not Chalice of the Void, the role of Veil of Summer changes again. Towards the end, I've included a breakdown of different scenarios and how to think about sideboarding according to the situation. Mindbreak Trap can be cast without paying its mana cost if the opponent has cast 3 or more spells. For example, on turn 1, after casting 2 Lotus Petals, playing an island, and casting Ponder, I end the turn. On turn 2, if I play Dark Ritual from an island and a swamp, then cast Ad Nauseam using the Lotus Petal played on turn 1. Ad Nauseam can be cast without being exiled by Mindbreak Trap. After that, draw some cards, and then generate mana acceleration. By using Hand Disruption to target the opponent's Mindbreak Trap, I can break through. Vexing Bauble has an aspect of being a card specifically for Mindbreak Trap, and it also interferes with my own cards, so I'll reduce the number of copies. As for Cabal Ritual, it gets caught by the opponent's graveyard hate cards like Leyline of the Void and Bojuka Bog, and since it can't be used effectively, I'll reduce the number of copies. This time, I focused on scenarios involving Chalice of the Void and Mindbreak Trap, but depending on the future meta, the slot for Chalice of the Void might be replaced by Vexing Bauble. Therefore, next, I would like to consider scenarios where Vexing Bauble and Mindbreak Trap are included. Vexing Bauble can be countered with Echoing Truth, Boseiju, Who Endures, or Veil of Summer. Mindbreak Trap is likely to be included as a 2 of, so keeping about 4 hand disruption spells should be sufficient. In this case, since the value of Veil of Summer has increased somewhat, I'll remove all Vexing Baubles and put 1 Veil of Summer back in. Lastly, I would like to introduce a few important points to be aware of and conclude the explanation section. When you activate Boseiju, Who Endures on the opponent's permanents, the opponent can search their deck for wastes, and they might be able to cast a Disruptor Flute from their hand, so be cautious of this. In the next case, after casting Infernal Tutor, activate Lion's Eye Diamond to achieve Hellbent. At that timing, Kozilek's command Scry Mode can sometimes break the Hellbent state. Additionally, if there is a Thought-Knot Seer on the opponent's battlefield when I achieve Hellbent, by casting Dismember from the opponent's hand on their Thought-Knot Seer, they can force a draw, breaking the Hellbent state. Sometimes there's nothing you can do, but being aware of these points can help you manage the situation and bring you closer to victory. This time, I focused on scenarios involving Chalice of the Void and Mindbreak Trap. There is a time lag between recording and publishing the video, so please make the final adjustments on site. Since there is a significant difference in matchup, I will actively mulligan down to double mulligan if necessary. It's important to keep a hand that looks like it can win. Bottom 2 Chrome Moxes. I'll go search for a tutor. Stacked the deck in the order of Swamp, Infernal Tutor, Misty Rainforest, then drew the cards. I'm going to search for Mana Acceleration. The effect of Surveil leaves the top of the library unchanged. I'm going all in. From here, I'm increasing the mana needed for the combo. As for when to stop Ad Nauseam, in the case of Infernal Tutor, if the storm count is high enough, you can win if you reach 6 mana. In the case of Beseech the Mirror, if the storm count is high enough, you can win if you reach 4 mana and have 1 permanent. I will accelerate my mana while also increasing the storm count. Now that I have more mana, I'll scout ahead. I took out Kozilek's Command. With the storm count high enough, I'll cast Tendrils of Agony. I want a fast hand, so I'll mulligan. I'm sending Ponder to the bottom, but it would have been better to send Ad Nauseam to the bottom and go all in if I drew 1 mana. I sent Ponder to the bottom, thinking I could go the Ad Nauseam route if I drew Dark Ritual on top, but I couldn't make a clear decision. Having Ad Nauseam in hand would have been removed by Thought-Knot Seer, and if my graveyard was also locked down, winning would have become difficult, so it was a misplay. Chalice of the Void with X=1 has been shut down. Even if my hand gets attacked by Thought-Knot Seer, I want to secure my mana, so I played the 0 mana artifacts in advance. If I can remove Leyline of the Void, I plan to recover resources with Beseech the Mirror and aim for victory. With Ad Nauseam removed, my graveyard locked down, an Ancient Tomb on the opponent's battlefield. Thinking there might be a route to drain the opponent with a low storm count, I decided to save my hand in case I couldn't remove Leyline of the Void. I was planning to manipulate my draw with the Surveil land at the opponent's end step, but I misclicked. The effect of Surveil sends the card to the graveyard. I'm going all in, from here. I activated Lion's Eye Diamond with Infernal Tutor on the stack, but in hindsight, it would have been better to hold on to it, wary of the opponent's Kozilek's Command. With the storm count high enough, I'll cast Tendrils of Agony. Thank you for watching up to this point. I apologize for the frequent play mistakes. I hope to improve at MTG together with everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a thumbs up. See you in the next one. This has been ANT,